Hello, everybody, and welcome back to another day, the Thursday edition. On today's show, we're going to be talking about the PlayStation Showcase. Sorry for the delay. We had cows escape, and I had to go angle them up. So that's why we're just a tad bit late here. So yeah, on today's show, we're going to go over basically everything they showed yesterday, and I'm going to give you my thoughts, and we're going to talk about the trailers that we saw. We're going to talk about the overall show in general. So that is happening morning. So starting off, Jeff Keighley, right? Jeff Keighley had his poll. We're running a poll right now on ours, right? He asked on the poll, he asked, how would you grade the PlayStation Showcase? Now he's going to have a lot more people voting than we are, but 150,000, almost 151,000 votes in 7 hours, or actually 7 hours left. So 150,000, almost 151,000 people. 14% said they would grade it an A. Okay, they would grade it an A. 30.7% gave it a B. That's where I'm at. 33.4% gave it a C, and 21.5% gave it a D or below. So, and there. So Keighley has a lot more pull than I do. Right? All of you guys so far turning out a little bit above what they're doing. All right, so let's talk about the very first game that they showed, which was a game called Fair Game. Okay, it's called Fair Game. So let's look at this. Let's look at this trailer. We're not going to play the music. We're just going to show the trailer. Fair Game, when I first saw this, it looked like I thought it was Watch Dogs. I thought it was the next Watch Dogs in the series. And then I saw it and I was like, oh, it's another extraction S game. It's like the finals from the Embark. Is that what it was? Or the was doing the finals. I know it's the new developers. I forget what their company is called. But basically, this did nothing for me personally. I don't know where it did for you guys. Did you guys like Fair Game? I thought, again, it's just another PvP, and I think the PvP section is just really oversaturated right now. There's like a turn in gaming right now where people are playing these PvP games, but they're not sticking with these PvP type games. They're moving from different game to game, looking for that next game that they can like put their claws into, but at the same time, they can't find the one they want. So let me know what you guys think of a Fair Game. Again, when I saw the trailer, I was like, okay, I think this would be a cool like single player game. But at the same time, we have just another competitive PvP game. And I was just like, oh, I'm out. I checked out. As soon as I saw a team of 3 going up against another team of 3, I was like, yeah, I'm good. Got plenty of games that we can play right now with the same dynamic. And there was another game later on that we'll talk about from Bungie with Marathon, which is yet another extraction game type thing. What's going on, chat? Let me see what you guys are saying. Let's see here. Water says, I hope Helldivers 2 is crossplay. I think I heard it might be, but again, these are all just rumors. Travis says Fair Game has a Saints Row reboot vibe. Yeah, I guess. Right? The next one, which I was actually pretty interested in when I saw it. This is Helldivers. Helldivers 2, to be precise. This was interesting to me. I was like, oh, what do we have here? I didn't know what this was when we first saw it. And then all of a sudden, a big bug comes over, and I was like, oh, cool. It's like Starship Troopers. They're attacking, and we have to kill the bugs. And then I was like, oh, no, it's not that. And then I was like, oh, it's a Destiny vibe. I was like, oh, it's an Outriders vibe. But then it turns out to be that it is sort of like a Starship Troopers vibe, which we've been playing. Okay, but I'm interested in this. This looks like a fun, just a, has some friends, shoot some bugs, PvE action. This is not going to be for everyone. There obviously it looks like there's going to be some sort of leveling up process, loot system, and again, we don't know that. It's a four-man team, and you're just going around. It says experience true freedom. Request air support. You can call in airstrikes. You're going across vast areas of desert, snow, and mountain areas. Okay, and you're going against all of these bugs. It says secure resources, the freedom to encounter fascinating life forms. Okay, introduce them to our technology. So definitely like defense mechanism type stuff. It looks pretty good. It looks interesting. But at the same time, Starship Troopers is already out in early access right now. And we don't know. Did they say a date for this game? I don't even know if they set a date for this game. But Helldivers looks pretty interesting. I was getting that Destiny vibe, Outriders vibe from it. Now, obviously, Destiny's a first-person shooter. This is a third-person. But I'm kind of interested in what this is or what this could be. This just looks like a fun time with your friends going up against, so 2023, coming to PlayStation 5 and PC. So it's not coming to Xbox. So we'll have to wait and see if when it comes out to PC, because I personally don't have a PlayStation 5 yet. But that game actually intrigued me. I was like, oh, okay. So let's go on to the next one here. What do you guys think of Helldivers? The next trailer I'm not even going to show. It's Immortals of Aveum. We already see the trailer. This is just another game they already showed us, so I wasn't, hyped about that. The next one after that was Ghost Riders 2. Ghost Riders 2 looked pretty interesting as well. I personally never played the first Ghost Rider or Ghost Runner. I keep saying Rider. Ghost Runner. But this looked pretty interesting as well. Lino says the Starship Troopers looks much better. Yeah, well, I also think it has a nostalgia, though, for Starship Troopers. You know what I mean? It's already got a fan base for that type of thing. I think YouTube Lurker yesterday told us that the Helldivers was an RTS or was a isometric. It was an isometric game first, and now Helldivers 2 has turned over to the over-the-shoulder type of game. Oh, it does look like Lost Planet, Behemoth. Yeah. So, Ghost Runner looks good. So, another game. What did you guys think of Ghost Runner? So far, we've seen the Extraction game. We saw Helldivers, and now we saw Ghost Runners, and then Immortals of Aveum. Which, again, those games look good. The showcase, I think, let me tell you this off the bat. I thought the showcase, the way they did the showcase, not the actual showcase itself. I thought the way they did the showcase, it was like an A+. Shut up and just show us game after game after game after game. I was like, that's the way I want to see it. I don't care about this is coming from the developer of blah, 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 blah. And they bring someone out on the stage and it slows down everything. And now we're going to show you, and then just boom, 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 boom. Just keep showing game trailer after game trailer after game trailer, some gameplay. That's the way these showcases should be, right? After the showcase, if you want to go into more in-depth and talk to the developers and how they made the game and what them talking about the game, all day long. But during the actual showcase, just shut up and just show us games, right? So A+ for Sony for the way they did the show. The overall show, I gave it like a B, okay? Just because I had no expectations going in. I was looking at it going, okay, great. Been 2 years. Sony's going to come out. They're going to be swinging, right? This is the knife to the neck of Xbox, right? They're like, Xbox right now is just down on its luck. Okay, they've been getting crapped over, week over week, month over month. They're third place where they've been the entire time. Sony's number one in the console race. They have the best games, single player action adventure games coming out. They're just on all cylinders. And then they didn't really show a bunch of stuff, right? There was a lot of stuff they didn't show. Like, they didn't show anything revealed from Naughty Dog Guerrilla Games, Bend Studio, PlayStation London, Sucker Punch. There was nothing there from these big studios. And I'm not asking for gameplay or anything like that. I'm asking just for their first party studios going, this is what we got and this is what it's coming. Like, even Nintendo back in the day, like 4 or 5 years ago, all they did was show a Metroid with a 4 next to it. And everyone was like, woo, and they were like amazed by it. Okay? Just show something, because this is the time frame that you need to show. It's been 2 years. This is your summer event. I know people are saying that they have another event coming up. Even someone on Twitter said it, like maybe in August or September. And I'm like, but why would you wait? Why would you hold stuff close to your chest and not say anything when you're the outright leader right now, and people are looking at it going, yep, this is why Sony's going to just destroy everybody. And then they have a studio. The show itself was a B. I'm not saying it was terrible in any way, shape, or form. I was just expecting more PlayStation titles being shown at the PlayStation event, right? Not third-party games. Summer Game Fest, you can see all the other third-party games that come out, and they're all for, PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. I was hoping for all first-party titles, because I'll be honest, out of all the things I saw there, the only thing that was going to make me buy a PlayStation, was Spider-Man. And I already knew that was going to make me buy a PlayStation, because I'm just waiting for the actual release date when it's coming out. And then I'll have to wait for the holiday bundle when they sell Spider-Man with the PlayStation. You know what I mean? And there was no talks about the PlayStation 5 Pro, if there is one in the works. And if there is, I'm still not going to buy one now this holiday until they tell me when the next upgrade system is coming out, right? So overall, it's a B for me for the show, and we'll see what Xbox and Nintendo do later on. All right, so let's go to the next thing. The next thing, this is actually probably one of the more hyped games that they showed, which was Phantom Blade. Phantom Blade. This looked good. It's not my cup of tea, right? It's not my type of game, but I can't say it doesn't look good. It looks fantastic. Let's go on, Apex. Right, Travis. Everything should just show game. Then afterwards, if you want to do interviews and stuff, fine. Kylo says, I can't wait to pick up Foam Stars. I know. Don't worry. We're going to show that trailer as well. Apex says, the show was dog shit and literally got my PlayStation 5 a month ago because everyone was saying PlayStation has bangers. This is what I'm saying, Apex. I wouldn't say personally. You could say it's dog shit. I was just looking at it going, why am I buying your system? What is making me buy your system if a lot of these games are coming third party regardless, and I have a PC and I have an Xbox, right? Now that Spider-Man is going to make me buy your PlayStation. But if I'm just buying it for Spider-Man, what else is coming that I need a PlayStation? And let me put it on the other foot. If Xbox doesn't come out and show anything either, okay? If I was a PlayStation guy and I had a PlayStation already, why am I buying an Xbox if there's nothing showing up on Xbox if I can get the third-party games on my PlayStation? It's the same on both sides. Like, you got to show me something to make me buy your thing. I was surprised out of all those games, 2 or 3 of them had an actual hard release date. That's another thing, right? They didn't show a lot of release dates for it. Travis says, if you're a leader, people are beckoning on your wishes, not the other way around. Let's go on, Fate Walker. I will wait for PC release on Spidey 2. Right? Do you have a PlayStation, Fate? Do you have a PlayStation, or you don't have a PlayStation? Redfall made me buy an Xbox. I'm just waiting. Oh, boss, stop it. He's just doing this. He's tooting the torn. We're not even talking about past games. We're talking about new games here. Metal Gear Solid Snake, Eater tease. Yeah, but that's another thing, right? They just teased it. And I'm okay with that, Jesse, right? I'm okay with that. I wish they did that for other games. Just tease like, hey, yeah, this is coming. But Metal Gear's coming to Xbox as well, right? So Yeah, this game looks this game looks legit, and especially if this is your type of game, this looks like another one. Spider-Man gets a fall 2023, brushed off. Forza gets fall of 2023, and it's let's make fun of Xbox Day. Those are facts, Kylo. That's exactly right. This is the rise of Ronin, but it does look good. Oh, it's not the rise of Ronin. Right. Which they said, and I think a lot of you people, and I'm not saying you people, I'm saying the people that are fans that do the hype and do the leaks, and they tell you that this is going to be there, this is going to be there. It gets the community that's in the know, like, really hyped up, and then there's a more of a letdown for people. Hence why I think Jeff Keighley's poll is in the C's, is winning right now. I think a lot of people hyped up what the event was going to be. I had no expectations. I mean, I thought I knew what was going to be there. I was like, okay, they're going to show us the same stuff. And then they didn't. And I was just like, oh, Spider-Man was it, huh? I was like, okay. They showed us Spider-Man last year. People lost their mind. They showed Spider-Man this year, and people lost their mind because they actually showed gameplay and whatnot. But then they're like, all right, what's next? And they're like, oh, that's it? Let me see what you guys are saying here. Okay, this is highly illegal. Anyone who says this showcase was dog shit is smoking something. I mean, each of their own opinions, Travis. Each of their own opinions. Why does everyone compare Phantom Blade to Souls when it's clearly Ninja Gaiden? PC version of Spider-Man 2 will... I have a PlayStation 4. Okay, yeah, I have a PlayStation 4. I just haven't upgraded yet. And I don't see another reason to yet. Right? Especially that if I'm buying it because I'm waiting for the next Horizon or the next Uncharted or the next God of War, those games already came out, and I can just wait for them to go on sale, right? And then buy the game for Spider-Man, but at the same time, what's coming out after Spider-Man? Like, what's the next games, and how quick are they coming out for the first-party titles? Sadly, the leaks ruined the MG's trailer. That's pretty a big deal. Without the leaks, it would have been a huge deal. Okay, well, let's take that, though. I didn't know about the Metal Gear Solid trailer. I honestly, Kylo, I didn't know about it. I wasn't expecting it. It wasn't anything. Even when we were watching it and in Discord, I was like, what did I say? I was like, what? I said something along the lines of because they were just showing all the animals eating. I forget what I said. But then all of a sudden I was like, oh, that's Snake. As soon as Snake popped up, I was like, oh, this is Metal Gear. I was surprised by it, but then I was just like, they didn't really show anything. Right? And then in Discord, I was like, man, I haven't played a Metal Gear Solid game in a hot minute. Right? But I was surprised that it was there. So it didn't ruin it for me, but I'm still underwhelmed that they didn't really show anything for it. Leakers in general are scum. Is that what you're supposed to say there? Can't wait for the Phantom Blade Zero. Now that you said it. Definitely has a Ninja Gaiden feel. Fate Walker says, maybe I saw a complete Final Fantasy 7 would be getting a PlayStation 5. Right, that's another thing that was a no-show, Fate. Right? If the gameplay didn't hype... And let me say this. I know a lot of people, and these are the people that are fans of Sony, like, well, maybe you didn't have anything to show, so why would they show it? And it's like, because you're 3 years into the game cycle or the console cycle, and you want to sell PlayStations, right? We're not asking for gameplay. We're not asking for, like, show us all the things or dates. Just saying, like, hey, what's coming this generation, right? What's coming this generation? Jesse Mack says, Jeff Grubb was right about Spider-Man 2 in his PlayStation showcase, right? But what was his... I don't know what Jeff Grubb said about Spider-Man 2. I mean, everyone knows that Spider-Man 2 was coming. It's coming this year, right? I think everyone knew. And they showed it to us last year, so we would assume it's coming out this year. Did we just become best friends? Yep. I'm planning to buy a PlayStation 5 in September. That's when the EAFC will come out, and I'm hoping the true next-gen experience. If you're going to wait till September, DZ94, why don't you just wait for the holiday? They'll probably do a bundle, right? And you'll get a free game, and then you can buy that game with it. You know what I mean? But then if they came out and showed nothing, just said such and such is coming, then people would bitch and moan about gameplay. That's not always true, though, right? That's not always true, though, Dave. What I'm saying is they didn't show at a PlayStation event. I honestly don't care. And again, I'll say the same thing about Xbox. Okay. I don't care what third-party games are coming out for your system. I don't. The reason people buy a PlayStation and the reason people buy an Xbox or a Nintendo is about the first-party titles that come out, right? First-party titles. And if you're not showing, they're both 3 years in, and none of them have, right? Nobody has anything. And I'm very surprised that Sony, who's number one, okay, they are. This is me not making fun of them. Number one, and number three is Microsoft, and they didn't just squish them like a bug right now in this really low point in Microsoft right now. They could have came out and showed and would have been like, it's over. I mean, it's already over, right? I'm very surprised, and people are coming out and defending them, going, "Well, they're just holding it. They sandbagged on purpose, or they." And I'm like, what? In what world do you sandbag your own show because you don't want to get too far ahead? I don't understand. They showed a small cinematic for Wolverine, and people shat themselves. So I'm with Dirty on this. Right, that's what I'm saying, Horseman. I'm not asking for gameplay. All I'm asking is, hey, PlayStation 5, this is what's coming, right? I mean, they already advertised, Bethesda's already advertised, and this is before they got bought out by Microsoft. They already told us that there was a Skyrim coming out. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't even have to come out for this generation. It can come out for the next generation, but we know a Skyrim's coming. Keep the illusion of competition, because without competition, things get much harder to make money. I agree with that, and I've talked about that, Travis. I've said it. I said if Microsoft goes bye-bye, PlayStation would suffer because there would be no competition. And without competition, they don't have to make great games. They just have to make good games, right? No point in getting far ahead. That sounds like a person that you told me you swam, right? You told me you swam, boss. Did you ever swim competitively? Did you ever swim competitively? So you're telling me if you had a lead, okay, you don't want to maintain your lead? Oh, you never swam competitively? Did you do anything competitively? Because apparently you do Sony fanboyism competitively, right? So you've never been competitive at all. So when you have a lead on something, you're like, I'm just gonna lackadaisical up. I can't believe that. I can't believe anybody in this room that has a lead on something is like, yeah, I got the lead by 15 feet, but I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna win by 10 feet. Exactly. As Sony's fan, I want Xbox to get better, so the company has to keep going and do the best as well. As it's now Sony is getting complacent. I wouldn't say they're complacent yet, Travis, but it is a little weird, right? I wouldn't cry like the sky is falling. There's times when you can take it easy, rest starters. Yeah, but they also have the lead, and they still win. They're just resting their starters because they're that good. $15, yes. They have the lead by 500 feet. Sony has the top of some of Sony has been on top for some time. Yeah, forever. Literally. They've been on top the entire time that Xbox is here. They've never lost to Xbox. I think the Xbox 360 years they were close to losing. But they still, I think, outsold 2-1. We can rest starters. But what games did they show you first party? That's my point. My point is, what games did they show you that was first party? To be like, yeah, this is amazing. The one Spider-Man game? Here's the next trailer while we talk about this. This is Swords of the Sea. Once Xbox brings the arsenal, the score will be 70-88. Then the bangers will come out. Smash Xbox 130-90. That and Phantom Blade are better than anything Xbox has planned. What, Spider-Man and Phantom Blade? I mean, Final Fantasy 16, boss. I mean, you keep using that as an example, but my point yesterday on Discord was anybody that's a Final Fantasy fan knows that you have to have a PlayStation, right? So everybody that has that's interested in Final Fantasy has a PlayStation. Nobody that's interested in Final Fantasy is getting an Xbox, and if they have an Xbox, they also have a PlayStation. Why? Because they're fans of Final Fantasy, right? So to say as a winning thing that Final Fantasy 16 is people on Xbox don't have, the people on Xbox don't want Final Fantasy 16, right? Or any Final Fantasy because they're not interested in it. And the people that do want Final Fantasy 16 are gamers that want to play Final Fantasy 16 and they own probably both systems. Do you know what I mean? So using Final Fantasy 16 as any type of like, well, Xbox doesn't have it. Okay, Final Fantasy fans know where it is, and that's why they buy it. So you making a burn to somebody that says, well, we have it, the person that's interested in Final Fantasy has a PlayStation. That logic could be said about anything? Yes. Hence why your point's so stupid. Because the people that want to play those games, to throw a game into someone's face, right? To throw a game into someone's face, just thinking that they're a fan of a box and not the game itself, is just idiotic. Doesn't erase the fact that Final Fantasy 16 is a banger. No, you're absolutely right. The people on Xbox don't care about quality, only quantity. But that's false as well, Travis. The people that are fans of whatever they're fans of, if they want to play something, they're going to buy the other system. You see what I'm saying? Kylo Green says, I could care less about Final Fantasy 16. You're right. Of course you don't care about it because you can't play it. No, that's not the reason they don't care about it. I think what we're saying is that they're not fans because they can't play it. I don't agree, but I think that's his point. They aren't fans only because they don't have it. Final Fantasy has been around since like 1980, like 87. Do you know what I'm saying? This is not like a brand new IP that's coming out. Like Final Fantasy fans have been around for like 40 years. Yeah, 1987. 1987. We're 25 or 35 years. 35 years. Jesse says I play games where I can play them. Exactly. Yeah, I'm on the gamer side. I don't have loyalty to any system. My point to the fanboys on either side, okay, is if someone wants to play that game, they will buy that system. That's it. Wintar says competition is extremely important, so both PlayStation and Xbox have to survive in the industry, or it's a monopoly. It still wouldn't be a monopoly, right? Because Nintendo's still there, and there's also streaming services and whatnot. But as far as consoles, sure, it would get closer to a monopoly. You don't got that? Don't buy our game? I don't know what that means. If you don't buy our games and console, great. We won't give you ours. That's such a idiotic take. Well, Dave, this other one, the new one, 16, is not a turn based one. It's actually it's going to be an action. So you actually, if that ever turned you off with the Final Fantasy turn based type of stuff, the new one doesn't have turn based. Lurker says, "Can you explain the moronic position that competition has not been happening for 22 years?" This is competition as much as you try to spell the fact. I mean, I got to stop reading your words, boss. I mean, I love you, but there's certain things that you are so clouded because you are such a fanboy that it's my brain. I'm having a hemorrhage right now. Like seriously, seriously, my brain is like imploding. All right, the next one, Talos Principle 2. This looked interesting. Not a fan of it myself, but it looks interesting. Just everything about this. My thing is when I look at stuff like this, they're always epic. They always have these like vast, like epic type of stuff, and the robot. Everything seems sort of like fantasy in the same gist as the other thing, right? Like you look at these, it almost looks like a dime a dozen. And I'm not taking anything away from this game, right? It's just when they show me stuff like this, that look like a Vex base, right? That everything looks like a Destiny type of thing. I don't know if Destiny ruined me, but a lot of this stuff just looks Bungie esque type of stuff. You know what I mean? And that's not a shot because Bungie is fantastic at what they do. It's just I don't get excited for a lot of these games. So Talos Principle 2. That's coming out on all systems as well. I don't own loyalty to PlayStation box. It's the games that make the box good. Right. But just games, right? Travis, it's the games why you like the box. So if games were good no matter what box, you would play the game, right? If you're interested in a game on a different box because it was a good game, you would maybe buy that box, correct? It reminded me of iRobot. Oh, that's true. The robot in this, the humanoid or whatever you want to call it, it did look like the. Then we had. Oop, what just happened here? Okay. Then we had. Is it Neva? Neva? Yeah, this game. Definitely not my cup of tea. Looks beautiful. I do like the art style and stuff like that. I like developers that go out of their way to do something different. Horseman says Talos is a puzzle game, so anyone expecting something else will be disappointed. Yeah, it didn't come across. That trailer didn't make it look like a puzzle game. You know what I mean? Look like an epic adventure. Any Final Fantasies is gonna be fire? Sure. Same things are exclusive to PlayStation now or exclusive to Xbox. I switch tomorrow. I don't like if you're talking about first party title games, Travis, I'm okay with exclusives. If it's a third party game going exclusive, which would be Final Fantasy, I'm not okay with that. And I get the director was like the reason that we make it for PlayStation is because of the technology that's in it. Cool. I get that. I just don't like third party games being exclusive for one console or the other. I would have the same stance. It doesn't matter who has it. I don't like games that are exclusive for one console if they're not first party titles. That comes out in 2024. And that's coming out for the Switch and everything else as well. Let's see. We got Swords, Talos, Neva. Oh, here's a good one. I know you guys are really excited about this one. Foam Stars. I know. You guys are dying to have this one. Exclusives make it first party? No, that's not how first party works. First party is when they're first party and the studio owns the company. This is the game everyone's looking forward to. I play JRPGs, so I picked Sony. If Xbox releases a console exclusive I want to play, I'll buy an Xbox. Minecraft Dungeons is one of my favorite crawlers, but I can't play it on PlayStation. Oh, but I can play it on PlayStation. Well, the business mindset, though, Lurker, from one company to the other is completely different, right? One's saying, not for all games, but a lot of their games are cross-platform and play as many places as possible. Go on, Mo. The one thing I was really hoping to see, we kept hearing rumors about, is exclusive Castlevania game. Would have loved to see it. Well, there still could be a exclusive Castlevania game. I mean, they just didn't show it at this event. I would have loved, Rose, if they literally showed more PlayStation games at the PlayStation event. Like, I didn't care about Avium because we already saw it, right? I didn't care about other games that we already saw. I just want to see games that are coming out for for PlayStation. No, the term first party, boss, is the studios not paying for a game to be exclusive. Game is like, and someone said this yesterday, but I'm having two conversations in my head here. They're like, "Oh, this is for kids." But for 10-year-olds? I mean, Splatoon makes sense to me, right? Splatoon makes sense. But this game is being held back. It's on PlayStation 4 as well. So they need to just drop the PlayStation 4, I'll be honest with you. Just stop. You had plenty of years and plenty of games. They're still making games. Just stop making games for PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. That's a bad one. Let me see what you're saying. This game is absolutely not for me, but it'll be huge to sell gangbusters in Japan. Oh, for sure. For sure. But it's just, Travis asked me a question. He says, is this what Sony's doing where they're trying to make games that are competing against other games? Like they can't get this game, so they just make their own game. And I think that's just gaming in general, right? This is why we see so many things that are like the WB game. What was that? Well, what's the one that's we could be Bugs Bunny in them? Multiverses, right? Multiverses is the brawler for for Mario, for Nintendo's Smash Brothers. Like they're all gonna try to make it competitive. They're like, oh, if you like Smash Brothers, you'll like this. You like Mario Kart, you'll like this, right? So that's why they're doing a game like Foam Stars. I don't know if this is what they're trying to find as far as PlayStation is trying to find that Call of Duty, and obviously Foam Stars is not it. But what I'm saying is I don't think they're going to try to find the next Call of Duty. Obviously, Call of Duty is still on PlayStation. I think they're going to make other live service games. They have like 12 games coming through live service. So we'll see if they're trying to jockey for position. But I don't think they're going to try to make a game to take over Call of Duty. I think they're going to try to make a game to compete in the same type of game as Call of Duty. Hence why you see they bought Bungie, and this is why Marathon is being put on there, right? But Marathon is on all platforms, right? But Sony owns that now. The next one, this game looked actually pretty interesting, right? This one looked actually pretty interesting. It was a kid's game. This is called The Plucky Squire. My son would absolutely love this game. Right? This I like the art style of this. I like that what they're doing with this. I thought this was like old school Zelda, right? Like this would be my son's Zelda. Right? I really thought this was cool. Like I could see 10 years from now I'd be like, "Oh my god, the Plucky Squire 2 or 3 is coming out. They're absolutely going to love this." Yeah, this looks good to me, Dave. Right? I don't personally need all these. Like, I just love the way they've done this. They've incorporated the 2D, the 3D, the elemental stuff inside the bedroom, and it's coming across all platforms. So I'm glad that this wasn't a PlayStation, but that one looked good to me. You see what I'm saying, boss? I think that game, that could be the next title down the road where they're like, whoa, when I was a kid, like when we were kids, Zelda was that. Now that could be the next type of game that they're going, oh man, I remember playing Plucky Squire 1 25 years ago. It was so good. You know what I mean? Like that's what I see. So wasn't expecting that. And when I saw it, I was like, oh, that's actually really good. This one I thought was a little weird. Now, obviously, this is going to be on all platforms as well. This is Teardown. This has been around for years on PC, and I was a little confused that they were showing this, but now it's coming to console. This is a great one. Guy started this. I don't know if it's more people doing this as now, but this was a cool project that one guy created. Right? This actually is interesting. It's a voxel based game with you're a criminal, and it's like a puzzle type of game. You have to try to figure out how to get the thing and then escape. And you're like timed and whatnot. I tried it years ago. I just thought it was really weird. It has a demolition physics and stuff. My son actually saw this and he was like, "What is that?" I was like, "Oh, I don't know if you'll like it." He thought it was like a Minecraft type thing. He's like, "Wow, this looks really cool." I said, "Yeah, this is nothing like Minecraft. Like, this is literally a try to beat your time and do different things." And there's like a free to play mode where you can like destroy a bunch of stuff. This is not PlayStation only. This is across all the systems. I just got into Wayfinder beta. Nice. I played the last beta, Fate. I can't say too much because I'm still under NDA, but I'm enjoying myself. That's all I can say. I can't say anything. I can't say anything. All right, where's my cat quest? Let's see if it's in this list. Obviously, we have Metal Gear Solid. This is a big franchise. I remember Sarge. Sarge was a much bigger Metal Gear Solid fan than I was growing up. We played the original Metal Gear on the Nintendo. He absolutely he would play that game like every day. Every day. Yeah, when you launch, you'll be under NDA. I didn't know what this was. People in chat when we were watching it live were talking like, "Is this Jurassic Park?" Because he like flies through this fencing over here, and everyone's like, "What is this? Is this Jurassic Park?" Oh, I watched boss. I watched Angry Joe do it. I think it's the second game review of Redfall, and I was laughing out loud. He was so angry. Yeah, he was so angry, and he did this one point where Joe and other Joe were going up against this vampire, and he was fighting it, and then all of a sudden he like juked him, and the vampire was like, "Where did they go?" And then they ran up to him. It was so funny. I was I was laughing out loud. He wanted his money back, and he didn't even pay full price for it. Yeah, I haven't played Metal Gear in a very very long time. I won't be getting this one, but it's a Metal Gear game. Good stuff. Big franchise. Here's what everyone's calling Breath of the Wild clone. This is I don't know how to pronounce this. This is Towers of Agashaba. Agshaba. This is like Breath of the Wild. Yeah, I'd be angry to Joe. Paid no, he didn't pay $120. He said he played at the Game Pass and he wanted his money back. He's like, give me my $15 back for next month. I heard Breath of the Wild was boring. I told you that because of my situation though, Water. When I played it, it's a good game, but it's just so we talked about this a couple weeks ago with like Harry Potter or Spider-Man or all those open world games. There's always like something within 15 to 20 seconds of you doing it. In Breath of the Wild, there's vast areas that you don't ever see anybody or do anything, and it gets really boring at parts. Now, it's nothing personal against the game, right? Like game of the year for people, and people love it, and I'm sure Tears of Kingdom is fantastic. But because I was a stay-at-home dad, still am, and I was raising my son, when I had moments to play that game, man, it put me to sleep. It put me to sleep. Aldente says that's my issue with Assassin's Creed Valhalla. You get bored with it, Aldente? I can't wait for the AEW Fight Forever. Love those N64. I love that. Those were my best wrestling games back then. Tears of Kingdoms fixed that, but yeah, Breath of the Wild was a snooze fest. Yeah, but I also refuse to pay $70 for a 30 frames per second game. Too many stretches of open area. Yeah. So there's that game. Let's see what else we got. Obviously, we have the Final Fantasy 16 game. This is obviously a staple. This is going to be a fantastic game. Yeah, I like open world games, boss. I mean, I like going for the 100% and stuff, but Breath of the Wild just didn't do it for me. AEW greater than Starfail? You heard it here? From who? From you? Will AEW drop on Game Pass? Probably not. I want to play Sony's Halo, Helldivers 2. It did look good. I was interested in that one. Some games are just big and bloated. Big for no reason. I don't have time for a lot of games. Heck, I'll just beat Jedi Survivor and I'm like 60 hours in. I know, and that's one of the reasons I don't get a lot of these games, Dave. I like when I'm not playing games on stream, I don't have a lot of time to play games outside of stream. Like when I shut off here, my connection to video games, I might have like an hour between, once I come home, picking up my son, if I'm not hanging out with him or doing something with him, I might have an hour or something like before dinner. But other than that, I only play what's on stream, or I play right after I'm off stream. Like I'll play late night on the weekends. I'll play like 10:30, 11 o'clock at night until about midnight. That's it. So when I dive into a game, a lot of these games that I want to play, I'm like, I don't have time for that. There's no way I have time for Tears of the Kingdom, even if it is the greatest game. I don't have time for that. I hope Sony's Splatoon's a big hit. Do they already said that it Twitch live stream yesterday? AEW is not on Game Pass. Yeah, I didn't think it would be. It's a small studio, is it not? They want to sell that game. Wonder if you could play both at the same time. Oh, the handheld device? Such a weird device. Such a weird device. I can't imagine it selling very well. Because you have to have a PlayStation. You have to have a PlayStation to use the device. So you're gatekeeped, right? You can't just buy the system, right? The handheld. The Q, is that what it's called? You're gatekept by, you have to buy a $500 system and then buy the system so you can play your games on the PlayStation 5. It's weird. So I can't imagine that being a very like big purchase or sale. I was excited about D2 reveal. I've heard to head to the store. Amazing rest of your stream. Oh, later, Fate. D2, you're excited for Destiny 2, the final chapter. What was it called? The final where Cade's coming back? I would love to play this on a Bravia. I need a tissue. Oh, the Final Fantasy? Yeah, the Sony Bravia. Those are good TVs, man. They're expensive. I still have to go back. I've been playing a lot of these other games the last 2 weeks. I have to go back to Jedi Survivor because I want a 100%, not achievements, but just the game itself. Because the graphics suffer too much when streaming over Wi-Fi. Yeah, it's just kind of weird, man. It's such a weird purchase. And especially the people, like, you have to think about it. You're like, you have a PlayStation 5, right? You want the best gaming experience possible, right? So you probably have it on a big screen TV. You probably have like a sharp television set. You're doing all this stuff. And now you're going to sacrifice that so you can go play your game, on a smaller screen? I don't know. It's kind of weird. Gaming on a go is a huge draw. Some markets, a dedicated link of your own personal server. Great selling point. Yeah, but Lurker, do you really think that's going to sell really well? I don't remember what their last mobile game or mobile device was. It the Vita? Is that what it was? The PlayStation Vita? There's only one of them, right? Rumors were the Vita 2. It came out in 2011. Okay. Let me see. They have... Okay, the initial launch sales were generally seen as positive, selling over 300,000 units in Japan and 200,000 units in North America. However, the large drop-off occurred in both regions. In Japan, second-week sales dropped 78% and leveled off, selling about 12,000 units per week. Similar sales drops. Let's see. So, overall, Sony fell far short of the worldwide sales targets of 10 million Vitas sold by the end of March of 2013. The device sold 1.2 million units as the end of February 2012, 4 million by the end of 2012, and were only estimated by analysts to have reached 6 million by the end of 2013. Figures of that have also been confirmed due to Sony's ceasing the release of Vita sales figures after hitting a 4 million mark at the end of 2012. Yeah, so it didn't do very well for them. So I can't imagine the people that are looking for a mobile device. There's people, who was it last night? Was it Kylo or Quintar? Who was it? It was someone with a K. Maybe he's not even here right now. Oh, no, it was Kyle. Kyle said it last night. He said he's already playing his PlayStation games on his cell phone, and he's using a Backbone, right? And that you already have a cell phone, and you already have $100 for the Backbone, I believe, right? So I can't imagine there's going to be a lot of people going out and buying this handheld device. It's got to be a very, very small niche market. Because the gatekeep is you have to have a PlayStation 5. At least the Vita you could just purchase. Do you know what I mean? I'd rather play on the Switch on the go. That's just me. With my account, I like to see my account grow. When I go into Best Buy, I always walk out with something. Yeah. I always get aggravated when I go to Best Buy because I always want to talk to somebody that knows something, and I'm always disappointed because no one knows what the fuck they're talking about there. Vita or PSP? Let me see what the PSP. PSP and PSV unit sales worldwide, 2004 to 22. Yeah, that's not good either. In 2004 to 2022, in 2019, roughly 30,000 PlayStation Vita devices were sold worldwide. Yeah, that's not good. Off subject, Wayfinder playtest is available. Yeah, it came out yesterday. The playtest opened up yesterday. The Vita sounds right. I heard it was actually pretty good. And it was a cult following. The Q is not sell well here, but for what it's worth, it still uses a PSP. Sony handhelds also plays movies. Okay, it's still gatekeep though, right? Lurker, you have to have a PlayStation 5 to get the full what you want from it. If you just buy the device, can you just use it as a movie device thing? Maybe it'll be an alternative to watching movies, but I don't know. So it runs off your PlayStation 5, can't take it on the go. Well, you have to have a PlayStation 5 because it knows what you have on your system. Like for instance, right now, for the Xbox, I could be in my car and I can access my control my system from there. I can also I don't even take my device with me anymore. Like when I go down south and visit my family, I literally just bring a controller with me and I can play my games off my Xbox on my cell phone. But I didn't buy a different device. You know what I mean? That's what I'm saying. That this is going to be a hard sell because you have to buy a PlayStation 5 to use that device. Like I was saying, I definitely buy one. So when my kid is on my PlayStation 5, I don't have to kick him off. I can just play my games on the handheld. But it also depends on the price. That's if you can, right? That's if you can. I know for sometimes if I'm playing, at least on the Xbox, and my son, because he wants to play a game, and certain games he can't play and he has to use it underneath my account, it kicks me off my account. So only one person can play at a time. But that's because I also limit to what he can play, age restriction. I like how they completely copied Splatoon with one of the games they showed. Yeah, that was Foam Stars. Duplis, what's going on, man? If the Q can also stream media from the PlayStation 5, then it sells way more. I have an Amazon Prime PlayStation 5, so if I can stream it on the go, then it goes better. But can't you do that right now with your cell phone, Lurker? For movies, couldn't you? And I don't know because the guy Kyle last night said that he already does that with his um cell phone. He says he plays games from his on his phone from his PlayStation. So if you can already do that, why would you buy another device to do the same thing you can do right now with your phone that you already have? Foam Stars coming to a bargain bin near you. Yeah, see, Neutralizer's saying you can already remote play a PlayStation 5 on your smartphone. That's my thing. Then why would you buy that device? Well, my cell phone is not an 8-inch 1080p 60. Okay. I guess it would be the price point then for you, right? It all depends on what the price point would be. I just got a new phone. I don't even know what the was it 14 Pro X. My screen on my phone is 2796 by 1290 pixels or 1290 pixels. Display has also a refresh rate of 120 hertz. Let's see. 696 pixels at 460 ppi. A full 100% DCI P3 color also used for the 4K Ultra HD TVs, so the iPhone 14 Pro Max can display the latest high-end 4K video content. I'm just arguing points, kind of like you on Friday. Oh, that's fine. No, I'm asking questions. Like I'm looking at it, going to like, why would you buy this when people already have cell phones, right? Get the tablet then and connect the controller to it. After watching the Amazing Spider-Man 2 gameplay layer on today, I'll play Spider-Man Miles Morales once again. Get ready for Spider-Man 2. I was thinking that same thing. Just I was like, man, I gotta play through those games again. But I don't have time. But if I only had a PlayStation 5 and then that handheld device, I could make time. Go on, Crowded. No Evolve either. Complete disappointment. I like how you stay with that, Crowded. I like it. 5 months later, comes back in, still brings up Evolve. Evolve was such a great and underrated game. Yeah, but they botched it with all the microtransactions and meal pissing. Like it was some a la carte thing. Dupless, I said that they would sell it back to you back in 2018, 2019 when they killed him. I remember saying it. I was like, they'll just sell you Cade back later down the road. Yo, how about Gollum? Gollum's getting destroyed. I watched 2 reviews this morning, and I'm like, oof. Wait, Crowded, you haven't been here since my other channel? We started this one back in October. No, you've been around. Started in October. We got partnered in December, just at the end of December. And we're doing fantastic. Jared says if that's how it works, that's different. Are you talking about the handheld device, Jared? Bad internet, bad gaming. I don't know if Jared's is caught up with us or not. It sounds like you're answering something that I was talking about with the handheld. Yes. Okay. All right. Just making sure. Oh, you're good, Jared. It sounded like you were. Yeah. Did Microsoft have Gollum? No, it was a third party game, but it's coming to all systems. But they say it's bad. They say it's in rough shape. Do you think they'll drop the 2 for Destiny or make a new game? It would be really smart for them if they drop the numbers. Like if Destiny 3 comes out, they need to just drop the 3. Just call it Destiny and like whatever. Next one we got Alan Wake 2, I should say. This game, I never played the first one. I watched, I forget who I watched. I forget the streamer I watched play it. I thought it was good. I thought it was a good game. Never played it myself. Just another Alan Wake game. Graphics look insane. More Alan Wake. The Lord of the Rings Gollum review. We don't want it. Wants it. We don't needs it. I said this months ago. I said, who asked for a Gollum game? And the other day I was like, if you take the same type of thing and make it into a Hobbit instead of Gollum, like Bilbo or Frodo, right? Then it would be a completely different game. I think more people would like it. They say it's terrible. Dupla says if Marathon Remake has a dedicated servers, that's a bad look. If Destiny doesn't have them, PlayStation definitely didn't make that, and the only bangers, not disappointments, like Microsoft. See, here we go again. Always taking shots at each other. Microsoft or PlayStation didn't make Gollum. Average score for Gollum is around 2.5. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good. Scroll through here. Let me get down to, we got Alan Wake, got Assassin's Creed Mirage. This does nothing for me. I don't know what it is. I fell off the AC wagon. I said this in Discord yesterday. I don't know what it is about Assassin's Creed. I am not. Maybe I'm like El Dente. It's just the open worlds and the lack of stuff going on. I haven't played an Assassin's Creed since they rebooted it, right? With Origins, Odyssey, Valhalla. I haven't touched any of them. But the last one I played was Unity back in the day. And since then, I just kind of like fell off the wagon for it. I thought Alan Wake was an Xbox exclusive. It's coming to Xbox as well. I don't think it's an exclusive though. Are you talking about the older game, like the first game? I think you're right. Well, actually, I think it was for all systems then too. Those devs just wasted years of their life on Gollum game. I wouldn't say they wasted, right? The film industry, I worked on some pieces of shit shows and commercials and stuff, but without those, you know, I paid my bills first off, and I became a better person in the industry because of it. I wouldn't say they're wasted their time. You got to start somewhere, right? Not having dedicated servers in 10 years old IP is no reason to skip going forward. I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? They made tons and tons and tons and tons of money to keep their lights on with microtransactions. Why would they need dedicated servers? We got here? Riverton Hill. This one was surprising. I thought I saw the chat was really excited about this game when it showed the live chat. This is Dogma. Dragon's Dogma 2. This looks impressive. Alan Wake 2 was finally resurfaced, showing that during the PlayStation Showcase with a new trailer tied to the release date revealed. Remedy Darkness project, yet will launch on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series X, S, and... Is that what it was, Quitar? Alan Wake 1 was a limited exclusive and then went everywhere? Okay. Who said... oh, Mo. Mo is the other side, right? He's the other fanboy on the other side. we have Boss on one side who just throws out stuff, right? And then you have Mo who throws out shit over here. And when both of them go up against each other, it's just like I can't. I never played Dragon Dogma. Never played it. Yeah, it looks good. It looks good. Look at the sales of Horizon. It speaks for itself. They put the PC and are doing a remaster. Yeah. The game is here's the thing though, Rose. You're falling for the bait, right? You're falling for the bait. When people make, and nothing personal to Mo, dumb takes like that, they're looking for people to interact with them. You're falling for the bait. don't fall. You don't have to justify. You don't have to justify games like Horizon Zero Dawn or anything like that. Yeah, that's exactly right. Boss is blue Kool-Aid and Mo is green. That's exactly right. New Dragon Age game will be dog shit. Yeah, that's been in development hell. Going on games. Honestly, I do not understand why people still buy Nintendo or PlayStation games. We need to boycott them. Monopolies are super uncool, especially when it's well known their equipment design is bad. I don't even know where you're going with that. Why would we have to stop playing Nintendo and PlayStation games? Because of what? Because of the first party titles being on the first party systems? Is that what you're talking about? Front House says, "Can you imagine a free-to-play PvP extraction game with no dedicated servers? I'll never touch it. It's going to be overflowing with cheaters." Oh yeah, and you know it's exactly. But they're going to sell you microtransactions, crowded. They're going to sell you microtransactions. Yeah, is Dogma a good game to pick up? I put over 100 hours in the sequel. I was pulling it for the Game Awards. I really don't like her at all. Yeah, but Mo, did you play the game? Did you play it? I haven't played the game. I haven't played it. I think if we boycott it, it'll force them to open up the OS to stay in the game. I don't understand. Like, one, welcome to the channel. Two, out of the conversation we're having, all of a sudden you just like throw out this. I'm not gonna bait for it. I just don't understand where you're going. First party titles are okay. If it's third party games that are exclusive is what I personally have a problem with. So if you want to have a conversation about like them taking their first, like if Mario was on all platforms, it would be better for gaming. I don't know about that. Now, if you want to take a third party game and like Ultimate Alliance that was on the Switch, that pisses me off because if you're stopping a game from being on all platforms because of a third party, but if they own the IP and it's a first party game, I have no problem. I have no problem with them being exclusive. I just don't know where you're coming from with the stand saying if we stop buying their games. I mean, that's not going to happen. First party games come with the sell a console, so that's never going to happen. I could shit in a diaper and hand it to Mo and tell them it's supposed to spin it around in his head and slap himself in the head. He would think that it's an amazing pastime. Right, Eddie Rodriguez? Right? There was the meme I saw yesterday. It was like what did it say? Fanboys are crazy. I should know. I'm a fanboy, right? Like I don't understand people that are dedicated to one side or the other. I don't. I don't. Nintendo and PlayStation are special. But why isn't Xbox in this conversation? They've done the exact same thing Nintendo and PlayStation have done. Hell, Sega Dreamcast even did that. Or yeah, Sega has done it. All consoles have done where they had their first party titles. Kylo says, "I'm a Xbox. I'm a pro Xbox. I will never I will never give Redfall the light of day for taking up any space on my hard drive." Heck, first party is Sony's bread and butter, so definitely will never happen. Yeah, it's bread and butter for everybody, though. You know what I mean? The only thing it's not bread and butter for now is Xbox, and Xbox is taking a different approach, right? They're taking a different approach. They just want play the games where you want. If you want to play it on PC, if you want to play it on your cell phone, if you want to play it on a tablet, if you want to play it on the Xbox, sure, just play it. Cujo says, "What's hilarious is Boss doesn't realize that he's just as bad for PlayStation." Oh no, Cujo, Boss knows. He knows. He knows. So you're saying I should purchase an Xbox to play games I can play on other consoles as well as PC. Got it. Who, me? No, what I'm saying, Water, is that if there's games that you want to play, right? If you're a solo person, right? You have no friends or loyalty to the box, like you don't play with a group of friends, and you had to pick PlayStation and Xbox, and it all depends what. Oh, for I got you. But if you're playing certain types of games, like Lurker said, he plays for JRPGs. Obviously, you're not going to pick Xbox, right? If you're playing JRPGs, then you would pick up a PlayStation, right? And then you would play all those games, third party games as well, and first party games as well, until something comes along that you're like, oh, damn, maybe I should try this. But then, let's say Xbox does come out with that game because you're a PlayStation guy, but you also own a PC, and they come out with a game that you're like, man, getting good reviews, it's getting good stuff. You know what? I'm going to go play that game on Game Pass, right? For $10, $15 for that month, you can go try out that game, and if you like it, you like it. If you don't, you don't, and you're only out $15. You don't have to go buy a console. You don't have to go buy anything. I'm just saying it would be better for all of the exclusives was eliminated. I disagree. If all exclusives were eliminated completely, then the entire market would crumble. As far as there would be no reason to buy any other system, right? You have to have first party titles to prop up PlayStation or Xbox or Nintendo. Without that, the whole gaming industry would just kind of just crumble over itself because it would just be what would you buy? Right? When you go into McDonald's and you have all those numbers, I haven't been to McDonald's in 25 years, but if there's too many options, okay, then you don't know what to pick. And if there's no options, you're like, I don't really know what system to get. Everything's just crossplay. Everything is just that wouldn't work. In a competition world of business, that wouldn't work. But what you're saying is raw exclusives are system sellers and what some base their purchasing decisions on. What I'm saying is raw exclusives, or somebody else is saying that. I would have bought 100 different Nintendo games. Could play if the machine I want, but then just go buy a Nintendo. I don't understand. I mean, I have a games. Get a PC. Can play a lot of these games pirate wise on a PC with emulators. So there is a system that you can get where you can play games that are hacked if that's what you really wanted. Yeah, I'm not a loyalist, to be honest. PlayStation and Xbox drops an amazing third-party game on the PC as well. I'm getting it on PC. Exactly, Water. Exactly right. I play where it wants. If the first-party exclusives are meant to be a system seller, then why does PlayStation pay to keep third-party games off the Xbox and other platforms? Because it's a business, Dupless. It's a business, and they want to keep ahead of the competitors. That's why. Why does burger joints next to each other? Why can one put their burgers on sale and the other one doesn't? Because they want to keep their business going. They're not doing exclusive anything, but what I'm saying is they're going to lower their prices to compete. They're going to get something exclusive to compete, right? Different businesses do different things. They would all sell way more games and less systems. Yeah, but that's most of their. Sony makes a lot of money off of their systems. If you didn't need to buy their systems, then where are you going? Then this is what would happen, right? This is what would happen if all games were on all systems. Then the systems would be competitive and go, well, ours is at 500. And the other one's like, oh, we're at 490. And then they are like, well, no, we're at 480. And they just keep lowering it. And then where would that money go? Where would the subsidized money go for the systems that you're not buying anymore? They would have to go somewhere. So instead of paying for, because it doesn't matter what system you buy now, that money would have to go somewhere else. So you're okay paying $100 for a game, $120 a game, $150 a game, right? The reason they sell the games for what they sell it for is because they're being subsidized for the cost and stuff of the video game system. So when you're on their system, right, they're still charging you stuff, but that price would go up dramatically because it doesn't matter what you buy. Because if you buy an Xbox and you can play all the games, yeah, but their systems suck. You'll be able to buy your own PC builders, would make it way more. Yeah, but then they would just. I don't think you're thinking this clearly. I don't think you're thinking this clearly. I remember when emulators were a big thing to have. Remember Dreamcast? Yes. I have the disc, Water, where I have like 1,000 games on one disc. You know, products to computer knowledge. Emulators is another story. I used to make my own fighting games. So did you ever see the Burger King as the new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse Whopper? No, I did not. I have not. Have you tried Spider-Man, Mike? Yeah, I own Spider-Man 1 and Miles Morales. They're one of my favorite games of all time. I'm not sure why people chalk it up as the game as one of the greatest games ever if it didn't grab me. I love Spider-Man, and to be a kid and reading comic books and watching the movies and stuff and cartoon series when I was a kid, and then playing and be able to play Spider-Man, it's the closest thing to like a dream. So to say to me, it's in my top 10 of all games of all time. The first Spider-Man, yeah. Well, not Papa. I haven't watched the showcase yet. My critique is right now with the handheld, with how bad the PlayStation 5 is with connection and network streaming is already shifty. The handheld isn't great. Yeah, the handheld is weird. It's gatekeeped because it only plays the games that you already have on your PlayStation 5. So before you buy the handheld, you have to get the PlayStation 5. All right, what we got? We got Resident Evil 4. Here's the marathon game. Here's the marathon game. This I thought was an expansion to to Destiny. I was like, oh. Exactly, Dave. Exactly. If you guys haven't seen, I don't think it's up anymore. When I did a playthrough of Spider-Man, I was literally, if you guys ever watched me play Marvels when I was Hulk, I was smashing shit. I had this smile on my face when I was playing as Hulk. When I was flying through or swinging through the city, I was just smiling from ear to ear. Like it literally brought me back to the moment when I was a child and like fantasizing, like swinging. I was interested in this game, Jared, until they told me it was an extraction game. And I was like, nope, I'm good. And the reason the characters are so kind of, and this is just my guess, that they're so kind of like nonchalant here, like they're just like that, is so they can sell you microtransactions to make your character look cooler. They give you a blank canvas so you can make your character look really cool. Yeah, I agree, Dave. So, best superhero game of all time before Spider-Man was Batman series. And then Spider-Man came out and I was like, yeah, this is the new best superhero game. Oh yeah, even the older ones were great. Even the older Spider-Man games were great. I absolutely this Spider-Man game was fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to play Marathon and someone to do a YouTube video on the Wiggle for Marathon. I can't wait. Then we have Concord here. Got Concord trailer. Another space game. Not actual gameplay. Yeah, he looks pretty good. He looks pretty good, Water, in the trailer. Like, I love the attention to in the actor's voice, how he acts differently completely. He's being corrupt by it. Oh, I think it's gonna be great. I think Wolverine's gonna be a phenomenal game. Like, and again, we only have that based off of what they've done with Spider-Man, right? And Insomniac has done great games. Even Ratchet and Clank, didn't play it but watched it. Like what they've done is just I'm okay if Insomniac up until they can't, if they can't what's it called, if they can't until they can't prove us anymore. Like all of a sudden they come out and all of a sudden it's like Fallout 76 on something. Up until that point, I shouldn't say Fallout 76, Cyberpunk 2077, right? They come out with like their version of a Cyberpunk 2077 and it falls short. I have no reason to believe that Insomniac's going to make a bad game. I'm all in. The goodwill is there for them. They put out something and I'm like, yeah, I'm going to get it. I'm not sure if it's a bounty hunter game or not. If Destiny's PvP is any comparison, then I don't trust Bungie with PvP. No balance, tons of cheating. I have a vote of no confidence in Marathon. Is that a Star Wars reference? I vote of no confidence. Then we saw Gran Turismo movie trailer, Project Q, and then let's look at the Spider-Man trailer because it's the longest thing that they have here. This whole trailer was just, I thought, and I know a lot of people will disagree with me. but this trailer was way too long. They could. It is 12 minutes long. They could have chopped off 5 minutes. 5 minutes. They could have just shown action sequences and whatnot. I was just like, you're showing me too much. I don't want to know too much. Looks good though. I'm like super excited about this. But I was super excited about this before they even showed it. They showed the entire mission. It was a good look. I'm a person lurker that I don't want to see too much. It's probably an early on mission, right? It's probably like the very first mission you do or whatever. I know it's a personal thing. Crowded House says, I bought the Game of the Year edition of Spider-Man. Didn't get around to playing it right away, but I couldn't download any of the DLC or upgrade the game to 60 frames per second because Sony said my code expired. I hate Sony. Well, that does sound like a personal vendetta against them, so I understand if you didn't like it. A bad taste in your mouth. Am I the only one who thought that the Helldivers was a ripoff of the concept of Halo ODST? We're calling Hell Jumpers. They're from the sky that they drop pods. Helldivers even have the same armor. I mean, sure. I mean, I can see it. I'm not going to disagree with you, Dupless. I'm not going to disagree with you. We all know, right, chat, that in Spider-Man, it's going to be you being corrupt, and you're going to have to go against Peter Parker, and then the symbiote is going to break free of him and become his own entity and become Venom, and like then it'll be Peter and Miles versus Venom. Like, we understand this, right? Snapstick, I knew 100% that Grand Theft Auto wasn't gonna make an appearance. If you, and I don't know how old you are or how long you followed gaming, but Grand Theft Auto, Rockstar has never in the history, right? Has never in the history of Rockstar games shown anything um at a summer event ever. A guy can hope, yeah, but facts break that down. Your hopes and dreams are crushed by actual facts. Rockstar has never, and especially over the years, they have the biggest piece of entertainment in the history. Not of video games, entertainment. They don't need PlayStation to show their stuff. They can. Who said it earlier? Was it Kylo? Kylo said they could drop they could change their logo in their Twitter profile and the internet would break. They don't need to do anything. You got to put your expectations when people do leaks and stuff. You can't believe everything you hear. And Rockstar was a long shot. The Spider-Man game is really, really good. It's good. The story, the voice acting, there are the missions and stuff. If you go to the side missions, which is the weakest part of the game, like once you do like the carjacking or chase down the guys, like fight the guys in the streets, just the stuff in between the main missions, kind of lackluster. It is. I'll be honest with you. But like, I'll be honest, Gotham Knights does a better job of that aspect of the game with like the criminals and fighting the stuff in the city. It gets really old really quick in Spider-Man when you do the carjacking, save the guy in the pedestrian, or save this, get the criminal. That stuff gets boring real fast, but the story the story of Spider-Man and all the stuff that you do in the game is awesome. Is awesome. Lurker says you have the Spidey plot. My Spidey senses are going off, Lurker. That's what's going to happen. Water says we'll drop a trailer of GTA 6 in 2025 with the release date of 2025 with the PlayStation 5 Pro and Xbox Series X Pro or whatever. No, I'll do this, Water. Rockstar will show off stuff soon, but they're not going to do it at an Xbox event or a PlayStation event. They don't need those things. They set the tone of them for themselves. Yeah, I was hoping that you could switch, like in Grand Theft Auto. You know how you switched from like, what's it called? From like Travis to Michael and whatnot. I was hoping that you could do that in this game. Like just anytime you like switch back and forth. Obviously, if you're in the middle of a mission, you won't be able to do it. Pete and Miles are going to go fight while Pete in the black suit is basically setting up in the gameplay. What is the strategy behind saying nothing about Bloodborne? They could at least say there's no plans for Bloodborne. I'm completely confused on what PlayStation was doing when they didn't bring up certain games. You know what I mean? Like I'm that's why I give the show grade a B. Just like they could have, and again, I'm not a PlayStation fan or an Xbox fan, but right now PlayStation had their foot on Xbox's throat. They're down and out. They're on the ground. They're looking down at them, and they could have destroyed them. And instead, they're like, let's let them get back up. Let them get back up. Maybe that's the Japanese heritage, right? Honor. They don't want to slaughter their enemy. They want them to get back up so they can fight them again. I'm failing to admit. I don't have to admit anything because I'm not a fan of one side or the other. Does look like some time has passed by. I'm gonna say this takes the place. I would say tops like 6 months, maybe. Because Miles doesn't sound like he's like more adult, and then when they show his friend on the screen, he looks almost the same. I forget what his buddy's name is. And this whole thing, it almost looks like they used Grand Theft Auto 4. Like they're like, hey, can we borrow Manhattan for us? Like if you told me this was a mod in Grand Theft Auto, I would believe you. The voice actor for Miles said that this takes place pretty much right after the city that never sleeps. There you go. There you go. And just by what his voice sounds like, he doesn't sound like he's more mature in any way, shape, or form. This is, I mean, this is a big year for we got the Harry Potter game, we got the Star Wars game, and now we're getting a Marvel game, right? Hopefully, we get that Transformers game. Is there not a AAA game exclusive on PlayStation on PC? No. There's nothing made like I mean, there's plenty of games on PC that are only on PC, but they don't have to market like there's no game that's just made for PC as far as like a Spider-Man or anything like that, if that's what you're asking. Well, yeah, that's what it does though. So he sounds obviously you're gonna play Peter as Venom, but you're also gonna get him uh, uh, as Peter. You know what I mean? You're gonna get him back when he's in his normal suit as well. I would assume part of the plot. That narrative was true. Sony failed to finish them off. It was like 12 games, and they showed will be on Xbox. Yeah, 12 games of the 32 games are going to be on all the systems. That was one of my things. I was like, I don't understand why you would show more games that are on other people's systems. Just show what's on yours. Did Bloodborne not sell well? Maybe people are overestimating its popularity. I think it sold exactly what it sold. You know what I mean? I think they're happy with the sales. I think what it needed to sell. I think it was okay. And Diablo 4. What's all going on, Gunslinger? What is and Diablo 4? Not showing? Is that what you're saying? Yes, but I imagine at some point in the game, Miles and Peter will fight. Oh yeah, for sure. That's what I just said. They will fight each other, and then he'll beat Peter. Right? You'll beat Miles. You'll beat Peter. Then the symbiote breaks off, and then he becomes Venom, and then you'll beat Peter, Miles, and you'll go up against Venom. Like Kraven's, I don't think is going to be the main villain. The date not showing, that's a kind of a little concerning. Do you think they'll push it back out of this year? It says fall 2023, but yeah, I think, boss, that's what's going to happen. So overall, make sure you guys are voting. Make sure you guys are voting. Yeah, we're gonna end the vote soon. See, I don't want Miles to beat Peter. I want Peter to beat Miles. I see what you're saying there, but so you're saying if Peter wins, let's say, right? Peter wins, you're saying that the suit's just gonna leave him? The symbiote's just gonna leave Peter's and then move over to Brock? I would think Miles would have to beat him and then he would run away and find a new host. Looks so awesome, but not worth the $500 system. Well, you could wait. I mean, we do know that the PlayStation games are coming out on PC down the line. So you would have to wait, like, if it comes out this fall, you'll probably have to wait till the 2024 fall, maybe until early 2025 for it to come to the PC if you have a PC. Yeah, I think it would come out more towards the holidays. I mean, you might be right, boss. Doesn't matter who you pick. Like, you get to pick, and then it leaves anyway. No date makes it sound strange for Spider-Man. They know when, but didn't say. Well, that's we talk about that all the time on this show, Lurker, right? On the GXG, right? We're like, shut up until you know a date. They have the date internally. They know how far along in the game they are. So for them not to say the date kind of worries me. Not worries me like, oh, the game's gonna suck. More like worries me like, They're like, oh, let's just say fall, but it might get pushed. It might get pushed. I mean, they already had big titles this year, didn't they? Or no, God of War came out last year at the end of last year. And then the expansion of Horizon came out this year, right? Cujo. I vote, but my preferred answer wasn't there. On a scale of 1 to 10, I gave it a meh. Why would Peter and Miles fight? Well, they would fight because the suit's taking over Peter. He's becoming a person that he's not supposed to be. And then Miles would have to break, be like, "This is not you, Peter." And he's like, "It is me." And they start to fight, and then he just starts to fight. And then Miles doesn't really want to hurt him. And then Peter he doesn't want to hurt Miles, but the suit wants to hurt Miles. And then he's trying to fight, and then they're trying to fight each other. And then all of a sudden, the symbiote suit leaves and breaks free. And then he gets Peter back. And then Peter and Miles are like, "We got to stop this thing." I mean, did I just ruin the whole plot point? Maybe. I don't know. Yeah, that's what happens. That's why. That's why they would fight. Right, he wants his friend back. This is not you, Peter. You know what I hope we do? I hope we get I hope we get to play a stealth mission again as MJ. No, not really. If Peter wins the building or something, all on Peter and the symbiote leaves. Yeah, maybe. Well, you know what I just said is going to come true. Don't worry, we'll come back to this moment once we beat the game. We'll come back to this moment and be like, "See, I said it." Go on, Mr. Luke. Mr. Luke says, "I didn't see anything that makes me want a PlayStation 5." Look, this is exactly what I'm saying, right? A lot of games there I think are phenomenal. There's a lot of games there that people get excited about. As a person, and I said this earlier in the show, Luke, if I had a PlayStation and Xbox showed the same type of stuff, I'd be like, "Why do I need an Xbox?" I already knew Spider-Man was coming. Okay, I already knew Spider-Man was coming, so I was already hyped for it. I know I'm getting a PlayStation, but if I'm not interested in Spider-Man, why am I getting a PlayStation right now? Right? If they have games coming down the line, I could wait. You see what I'm saying? And that goes for both sides. Doesn't matter if Xbox or PlayStation. Why do I need to buy a system? And they didn't show me enough, right? Because if I'm not a Final Fantasy 16 guy, which I was, but I'm not anymore, okay? And I'm not a Spider-Man guy, which I am, and I am going to buy a PlayStation 5 because of Spider-Man. Why would I buy a PlayStation? Did they just show Venom stuff taking over Peter in the last game? No, no. That's all. That's all in this game. If you didn't see anything that makes you want to buy a PlayStation 5, then you need to give the showcase an A. They delivered. They delivered for you. If I need to give them an A because they didn't showcase anything for me, let me say that. If you didn't see anything that makes you want to buy a PlayStation 5, then you need to give the showcase an A. They delivered for you. I don't get it, Lurker. I did see Helldivers too, Robert. It actually piqued my interest. I'm interested in it. Want to know more about it. Want to know more about it. He's saying as a toddler box consumer should have loved the show. Why? I mean, I gave it a B. I gave the actual show an A of like how they delivered stuff, but the overall of the show, I was like, it's a B. Slayer says Phantom Blade piqued my interest. I was already gonna get Spider-Man 2. Right. Well, that's what I'm saying, Slayer. Like this showcase, I already knew I was interested in PlayStation 5 because of Spider-Man. But here's my thought process. I'm like, okay, if I'm only interested in Spider-Man, and games earlier said it, is it worth $500 to play that one game? Now there are other games that are out there that are first party titles. Like I want to play Ghost of Tsushima. I haven't played that yet. Okay. But that's not a PlayStation 5. Right? I can play it on the PlayStation 5, but it's not a first party title for PlayStation 5. It's a PlayStation exclusive. Right? I want to play Ragnarok. I played the first God of War. I didn't play the second one yet. I'm waiting for the upgrade of the system. But just to buy that one game for $500, I'm like, because some of the games I'm interested in were third party games that were on the system I already own. So to buy a PlayStation 5 for the games I already have a system I can play most of those games on that I'm interested in, I look at this and go, well, I'm definitely going to buy a Spider-Man bundle, right? To save money, so I get the game for like $40 instead of $70 or whatever it is, right? But was there a lot of other stuff there to make me go buy? And again, come June 11th, I'm sure we'll say the exact same thing, right? You'll look at Xbox and go, what's there to make me buy an Xbox? So they didn't show anything that interests you. You should give them a perfect score. That makes no fucking sense. It didn't fulfill my expectations if they showed nothing. That's interests me. Doesn't work that way. They have to shit on it to make themselves feel better to try to attempt to bring PlayStation down. I know you're not including me in that, boss, because I'm not shitting on anything. I didn't think saying the showcase was a B was shitting on anything. And that's my biggest concern, Lurker. Right? They didn't show anything from PlayStation. And I said that in the very beginning of this whole stream. Boss says there's no way anybody saw this showcase and think it sucked. No way. Again, I didn't think it sucked. Oh, okay. Let me see the last then. Robert Jones asked me. I saw that and he says I was excited to see it, not less interested because. Oh, you're now less interested because the perspective changed. That never even played the first one. I'm interested because of third party or third person view now, but I know nothing of the series. Lurker said, "Sorry, it didn't show you anything to make you buy a PlayStation 5. They saved you money. They delivered a showcase that set your expectation. That's an A. You're an informed consumer." I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying, Lurker. They didn't overhype it or anything. They told me right down the middle of like what we got coming, and they failed, right? And I say this all the time with like movie trailers and stuff. Like, did it sell me to go to the theater to watch it? No, it didn't. So they showed me a bunch of trailers. It didn't sell me to buy it like ASAP. I can wait. I can wait for more. They're gonna play the Last Epoch's new season. I don't even have Last Epoch, so I'm gonna say no. And I'm not gonna pick it up now because Diablo 4 is coming out. If Spider-Man 2, Peter Parker, Tobey makes a reference to Spider-Man 3 with Tobey, I got off the black suit with the bell. Yeah, I didn't think it was bad. I didn't think it was bad. I gave it a B. I think it was a good show, but I didn't give it an A because it didn't show me enough PlayStations personally. Yeah, I think there's gonna be a lot of things that always look similar. A cloud gaming device that only works on the same Wi-Fi as the PlayStation 5 a year after Steam Deck and a month before the ROG looks like a pretty big mistake. Yeah, I'm confused by that. I'm confused by it because you have to have a PlayStation to get that device. I'm very confused by that device. I think saying the showcase sucked is just justifiable view. Sony skipped a year showcase and then gave us a lackluster performance. I could agree with that. I could agree with that. I mean, yeah, it's been 2 years since they did one of these. What do you guys think of the new black suit in Spider-Man 2 game? I personally liked it. It was far it looks like a plain ordinary black suit, but in close view, it's very nice detail. I thought Slayer. I thought I'm excited for it. I was excited before when they showed it last year and told us about it. I think the suit looks good. I think the game looks good. Big fan of the other Spider-Man series, 1 and Miles. So I'm excited for it. Helldivers is Starship Troopers, the game, before Starship Troopers, the game. That's right. I agree that if is an A for me, I'm in the ecosystem already. I need more than an Xbox fan from these shows. I did buy a PlayStation 5. You need to show me why not to buy an Xbox. They did not. Yeah, I just thought it was a little lackluster. They showed 32 things. 12 of them were on third-party stuff, and they didn't go into other parts of VR, right? That's another thing against it. They have a lot of VR stuff, and a lot of the VR stuff that's another $500. So if I want to play VR, obviously I got to pay $500 for the system, $500 for the headset. Now if I want to play Wi-Fi, we don't know what the price point is. There's a lot going on, and there's a lot of gatekeeping inside that. If I want to play VR games with the Quest, I could literally just buy the Quest, right? I don't have to buy another piece of peripheral to play the Quest. I don't think gameplay from Spider-Man 2 was early game. I think it was. They usually are. Every time they show, I'm not going to say it was like mission 1. I said that earlier, but I'm going to say it's pretty early on. I would say it's in the first hour. I would say it's in the first hour and a half. If I did VR, I'd be stoked. VR did just not for me. But I also neglected one of the biggest exclusives yet. There's been no Bloodborne remake or remastered or sequel. What are they doing with Bloodborne? They forget that? Yeah, someone brought that up earlier. Yeah, that's not what they're asking. That's not what they're saying, boss. They're saying early on in the game. I'm kind of glad by the handheld because if I put out a Epic handheld right now, it full of a lot of people trying a handheld wave, and then it's been nothing but Epic. Yeah, I just don't. People said you could already play games on your cell phone and use the backbone. So that price point of that device has to come in. I'm gonna say it's coming in at $300. I don't see it less than that. 250 maybe. I don't know. All right, 12:15. I gotta get going. I appreciate you guys coming out. Let's end this poll and see what you guys decided here. Let's see what you guys decided. The poll. How would you rate the PlayStation Showcase? 28% of you said it was D and below. 26% of you said C. 25% said B, and 19% it was A out of 52 votes. I thank you very much for voting on that. So yeah, you can see that a lot of people were kind of underwhelmed, right? We have over 50% of the people in the C and D area. So I'm gonna pull a Travis hot take. 10 guys played Bloodborne and now they have the internet in the. No one actually wants the dumb game. FromSoft is about making sequels. Yeah, it's still such a niche group of people that play the game, right? Let's look it up. I'm not leaving yet. We're still going to talk a little bit. Let me look at what Bloodborne. Let me look at what they sold. Yeah, okay. I'm not saying this is a bad game in any way, shape, or form. Okay, I don't know what the budget of the game was. I don't know what. Do we know what the budget is? Let's see. Let's see, Bloodborne. Let's see, do we know the Bloodborne sales? Or the budget of it. I can't find what it cost, but it sold 2 million copies. Okay, 2 million copies sold in North America. Bloodborne was the second best-selling software in March, despite being released at the end of the month. By April 2015, by the game had sold over 1 million copies by September 2015, and the game had over 2 million copies sold. Okay. In the bigger grand scheme of things, that's a small niche of people, right? Small niche. Especially because there's 122 million people that had a PlayStation for that generation. No showcase, just comes in showing 20. I wasn't asking for 20 first party titles, boss. Well, what I'm saying is they needed to show more games. I'm not asking for 20. I mean, PlayStation's got me. I'm going to get a PlayStation because of Spider-Man 2. So, down the road, I will have my money in their pocket down the road. They just want to bitch about no Bloodborne. Spider-Man 13. I know you don't bleed green, but you bleed green. I don't. You can keep telling yourself that so you feel better as a PlayStation guy, but I don't bleed any color. I literally am desensitized to companies. I play games where I want to play. I don't know how many times I have to say that. I play games where I want to play games. PC, Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, doesn't matter. You could put me wherever you would like to put me to make yourself feel better, but I am not a person that bleeds anything. Inter says Bloodborne needs a remaster. Load times drove me not to play. Those sales are before Dark Souls 3 and Elden Ring. Games aren't niche anymore. Well, Elden Ring is not made from soft games, not any, right? They completely sold and opened it up to people. But Bloodborne itself, crowded, is a niche game. It is. You can't say it's not, because it is. And it still is, because people don't want to play those hard games with no difficulties, right? The people that like it, but the people that don't outweigh the people that don't like it. Or I should say, the people that don't like the difficulty setting outweigh the people that do like the difficulty setting. It shows weakness in digital events, VS or verse in person like E3. I just think these events miss the wow and pop from the crowd live gameplay. Yeah, I can see that. I can agree with that. I come to 30 because he's the only reasonable Xbox lean on the whole internet. I trust people that aren't fans way more. Lurker, I can promise you, I'm not. I am desensitized to corporations and what they are. On this show, we always talk about, when we read articles, look at them straight down the path, man. We don't lean one side or the other. The only reason I have an Xbox is because I have an 8-year-old. It saves me a ton of money. I play it more than my PlayStation. Why? Because I already have the games on there, and most of the games that I play either on Game Pass or I already own them because I've had Xboxes, or they're on sale, or I get codes. What it is. And my friends are on Xbox. Xbox has been getting its ass handed to them in their own backyard. But boss, I don't understand. They've never, in the history of Xbox, which is what, 21 years, right? They've never beaten PlayStation. PlayStation has never lost to Xbox, ever. It's like you have this competition, right? It's like me and my son. Like, hey, let's go outside and shoot some hoops, and I destroy him. And I'm like, I'm better than you. No shit. That's my point. But I don't understand. The same way that you use points and for one thing and not the other, right? You say that Nintendo had a head start this generation, and that's why they're beating you, right? But PlayStation has had a jump start in the industry more than Xbox, right? So you say it one way where it's in your favor. You're like, well, PlayStation would be better than Nintendo, but they had an early jump start with this generation. And then in another thing, you're like, well, we're beating Xbox. Well, you've been around since 1992. You had an 8-year, 9-year gap from people coming into the industry for the first time, and you've never lost that, right? I've had more PlayStations over the years, but I play Xbox now. Who cares? Exactly, Luke. Xbox has done slimy things to try to hurt PlayStation. It just sounds like a business model. All businesses do things to hurt other businesses. Imagine that. Dupless, I'm just glad that they said that out loud now, because I've been saying it for 5 years that they're not in competition with PlayStation. And everyone's like, oh, you're making excuses for Microsoft. And apparently Phil Spencer watches my show and is like, hey, 30 and Still Gaming said we weren't competing with PlayStation. Maybe we should run with that. I mean, come on now. Anybody with a brain between their ears and behind their eyes can see that they're not competing with them. Xbox and PlayStation 5 released around the same time. Hell, I think Xbox came out first. But what does that have to do with anything? There is no competition. If my son says, I'll race you to the car, and I said, I'm not racing, and then I get to the car, he's like, I beat you. I wasn't racing. I wasn't racing to the car. But he's like, I beat you. I'll be like, okay, great. Congratulations, you won. Thanks for being competitive. Lurker says, as a PlayStation fan, when Water agrees with me, I have to think, damn, I've gone too far. Had to have all the PlayStation, Xbox consoles in the showcase. Not great at all. Anything was one of the worst Sony's have put out since the start of E3 live shows. Really, Paul? You think it was that bad? I didn't think it was that bad. They're getting murdered, so of course they're trying to. They've never were in the running. They were never in the running since Xbox's conception. They've never been in the running. It's exactly the same thing with Call of Duty and Battlefield. Right? They're like, Call of Duty's better than Battlefield. It's beaten Battlefield. They've never competed. They've never competed financially of the same standards ever. They're both first-person shooters. People both play them, but they've never competed against each other as far as, well, this one's selling 30 million and this one's selling 31 million. Honestly, it doesn't seem any of them directly trying to compete with each other. It does look like they struggle with the technology, though. Like now, the handheld is finally ready to be subpar. So it's called a showcase. So what games were shown and warranted the showcase targeted to just saying a day and date? There wasn't any, Sarge. Xbox has been trying to buy games to switch to them to come out first on the competing excuse. You tried hard to win and you got stomped out and said it wasn't even trying. But you're going back to like the 360 days, are you not? Which at this point is what? 15 years? Here, let me ask you something. Hold on. Show me on the controller where Xbox hurts you. Where? Is it here? Between, like, I don't understand. Where did a corporation where did the corporation come in and try to buy something hurt you personally? Like, where? And like, I love that everyone always says that I'm I actually don't own a PlayStation. I just go out and buy the controller. I just go out and buy the controller just so I can have it. I also don't own any of the other systems that are down here, right? That's not a Wii. That's not a PlayStation 2. That's not an Xbox One, right? That's not a PlayStation 4, right? Where's the PlayStation 5? Oh my god. I know it's hard. You got to clean out your ears, boss. I know it's really hard to understand. You know, I hate repeating myself. I'll tell my son that. I hate repeating myself. I'll say it once, and I already said it. So if you don't remember why I don't have a PlayStation 5, that's on you. The green screen. That's right. That's where it hurt me. Boss's thing is like, so it's not there. That's his remark of going, your mom. Oh, so you've had a PlayStation 1, 2, 3, 4, but you don't have a PlayStation 5? See, bro, you're an Xbox fan. So fucking dumb. I like the better quality gaming. I also like game, not better quality gaming. I like gaming. I'm playing on my PC. I play on the systems I have. Boss, I know what you should do for your. You should quit your job. I know you don't like your job right now, and this is being serious. You should apply for PlayStation. You would be the greatest salesperson for them. Right? You should quit your job, what you're doing right now. You should apply for PlayStation. Because at least then, when you say something stupid, at least I know that you're working for the actual company that's paying your bills. And on that note, I appreciate you watching, hanging out. I'll be back tonight for Generation X Gaming, the weekly podcast that goes over a few of the top stories in the past week. Join me in Sarge tonight, 8 p.m. Eastern. We'll go over the showcase a bit. We'll go over other gaming news, Overwatch, and whatnot. Appreciate it very much. You guys have a wonderful day. Hit that like button down below. Make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. It's also free. And if you go above and beyond that, you become a member as little as $5. It helps us out. Appreciate it very much. And I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.